The Cleveland Browns may have stayed quiet at the trade deadline, but the real action is just beginning. With 2026 free agency on the horizon, major decisions loom that could reshape the future of this roster. Key positions remain question marks, and there are impact players potentially up for grabs, some of whom could fill glaring holes, while others might stir serious debate in the Dawg Pound. The front office has cap space to work with, veteran voices to retain, and a few bold opportunities that could turn this team into a true contender. Let's break it all down, because what's coming could change everything. Be sure to click the like button and come with me. I'll tell you everything. The Cleveland Browns may not have made waves at the trade deadline, but the front office still has major opportunities ahead in 2026 free agency. Opportunities that fans should absolutely keep their eyes on. Let's dive into the most realistic and high-impact targets Cleveland could and should pursue to fill key gaps, especially on the offensive line and wide receiver room, starting with the trenches. It's no secret that the Browns' biggest need is at offensive tackle. Pass protection has been inconsistent at best, and while the interior of the line holds up well thanks to Wyatt Teller and Joel Bitonio, the edges have been exposed far too often. One of the most intriguing potential options is Braxton Jones from the Chicago Bears. He's under contract until 2026, but as we inch closer to that offseason, he's exactly the kind of short-term solution the Browns could benefit from. His run blocking is solid, exactly what you'd want to open lanes for Judkins, who's already flashed signs of greatness. The concern? Pass protection. Jones doesn't anchor particularly well, and considering that's where Cleveland struggles most, signing him without a long-term backup plan might not be the best solution. Still, as a bridge option while grooming a younger talent, it's a name worth watching. Now let's talk about someone who's not just a patch, he's a full-on upgrade. Braden Smith of the Colts has been an absolute force at right tackle. This guy has only given up one sack all season, and he's been instrumental in a Colts offense that has powered Jonathan Taylor and even made Daniel Jones look competent under center. That's the kind of protection Cleveland desperately needs, especially with young quarterbacks in the fold. If Andrew Berry and the front office are serious about giving this team a shot to compete, Braden Smith is the kind of free agent they must pursue hard. He's not flashy, but he's reliable, experienced, and productive, the exact qualities the Browns have lacked on the outside of the line. And speaking of existing talent, don't forget the internal decisions Berry has to make. Wyatt Teller and Joel Bitonio are both on contract years. Teller has openly said he wants to retire a Cleveland Brown, and Bitonio has echoed similar sentiments. These are vocal leaders in the locker room, Pro Bowl caliber guards who have battled for this franchise year in and year out. Letting either walk would be a massive blow, not just in talent, but in identity. Cleveland has already created cap space through smart restructures, including Denzel Ward's deal, so keeping Teller and Bitonio should be on the priority list. But again, this doesn't solve the tackle issue. That's why Jermaine Illuminor could be a dream target. He's currently with the Giants, and if New York doesn't lock him up to a long-term deal, the Browns should be all over him. Illuminor has helped accelerate Jackson Dart's development and made Scatabo look dominant before his injury. He's the kind of lineman who instantly elevates an offense, and while it may be a tough get with Big Blue likely wanting him back, Cleveland should absolutely be making a strong push if he hits the market. Now let's transition to the wide receiver room, a unit that's been crying out for more consistency and explosiveness. George Pickens is without question the most talented receiver on the potential 2026 free agent list, but here's the problem, he's a former Steeler, and he's shown multiple times that he lacks discipline. Remember that snow game where he just lost control and started a fight with Greg Newsome? That's not leadership. That's not what you want when trying to build a cohesive locker room. Talent alone isn't enough, especially when you're trying to mold a young quarterback. Pickens is dynamic, sure, but the Browns need stability. They need players who elevate teammates, not distract from the mission. Instead, a more balanced, high-upside target could be Jakobi Meyers. He's already voiced frustration with his role in Las Vegas, and Cleveland nearly made a trade for him before the deadline. He's been a 1,000-yard receiver, racked up 8 touchdowns in a season, and more importantly, he's consistent. He knows how to get open, he works hard, and he could be a valuable asset in an offense that needs more from its pass catchers. Signing Meyers in the offseason without giving up draft picks would be a smart, clean move for a front office trying to maximize value. Alec Pierce is another name that deserves serious attention. The 6 feet 3 inches receiver from the Colts has shown he can stretch the field and win deep. He's had a 50-yard reception this season and already totaled 500 yards. He'd be cheaper than Pickens or Meyers, but don't let that fool you. He has the physical tools to contribute right away and could be a perfect fit for a Cleveland offense looking to add verticality. Think about it, a young, tall receiver who complements existing weapons and doesn't cost you a fortune. That's exactly the kind of under-the-radar move that could pay off big. And while we're on the topic of cost-effective, high-upside moves, don't overlook Romeo Dew. The Packers are loaded with young receiving talent, and Dew may be the odd man out come 2026. With over 400 yards and 4 touchdowns already this season, Dew is proving he can handle volume and deliver results. He brings physicality, size, and a competitive edge that could translate well to Cleveland's offense. He's the kind of receiver who makes contested catches, battles at the catch point, and shows up in big moments. If Green Bay lets him hit the market, Cleveland should be ready. So Browns fans, here's the big question. When it comes to the offensive line and wide receiver positions, who do you want to see the front office go after? Are you riding with Braxton Jones or pushing for a Braden Smith signing? Is Jacoby Myers your ideal receiver target, or are you intrigued by someone like Romeo Dew or Alec Pierce? Let me know what you think about Cleveland's potential 2026 free agency moves. Let's keep this rolling, because the next name we need to talk about is Jalen Coker out of Carolina. He hasn't gotten a full opportunity to showcase his skills with the Panthers, but when you look at his frame, his route running, and his flashes in limited action, you can see there's something there. At over 6 feet tall, he fits the mold of a big-bodied target that can help either of the Browns' future quarterback options. While his numbers aren't eye-popping yet, the potential is undeniable, and in a more fitting offensive scheme, like Kevin Stefanski's, Coker could blossom into a reliable chain mover. He wouldn't cost much and could be a high-upside rotational piece in a unit that desperately needs better depth and competition. Now let's address the elephant in the room, quarterback. Cleveland's going to look at veterans again, and you better believe the front office is exploring options. We saw what happened last year with Joe Flacco and Kenny Pickett. Expect a similar approach. Russell Wilson, Marcus Mariota, Carson Wentz, Tyrod Taylor, these are the names to keep tabs on. Out of that bunch, Wentz and Taylor are the most logical fits. Both have starting experience, both can stabilize a room, and both would be more than capable of guiding the team if called upon. It's not about a flashy signing, it's about insurance. Cleveland cannot afford to go into another season without reliable veteran depth behind center. And finally, don't forget that some of our own are hitting the market. Greg Newsome's contract is up. Tyson Campbell already looks like a better fit in Jim Schwartz's man-heavy defense, but if the door remains open for Newsome, would you want him back? David Njoku, meanwhile, has been nothing but vocal about staying. He said, "I'm not leaving ever." That passion means something. And when talent meets commitment like that, you lock it in. So Browns fans, of all these scenarios, O-line reinforcements, wide receiver upgrades, or a veteran quarterback addition, what's your top priority heading into 2026? Let me know in the comments. Don't forget to click the like button and subscribe to stay informed. Go Browns!